Have you ever get that strange feeling that something is missing, that you were meant for more? That deep inside you there's a quiet voice calling you toward something greater, but nobody else hears it. Nobody else sees what you see. You walk through life watching others rise while you stay stuck. You try hard, you learn the rules, you follow the plans, but something just keeps holding you back. Let me tell you something. There is a power, a silent power, and it is not found in books, not taught in schools, not revealed in motivational speeches. It lives in people, but not just in the successful. It lives in the forgotten, the overlooked, the ordinary. It is not loud, it is not flashy, but when someone discovers it, their entire life begins to move. This power is the difference between those who make it and those who only dream. It turns workers into leaders, strugglers into creators. It turns the broke into millionaires, and I am going to reveal it to you. Not with theories, but with the truth you already know deep inside. This video is not about motivation, it is about transformation, and by the time we are finished, you will either walk away unchanged or you will rise with a fire that cannot be stopped. Now listen carefully, because everything you desire, everything you imagine, every single part of that life you dream of is waiting on one thing: your ability to control the silent power within you. Let's begin. The power that lives inside you. Power has no name, but it has moved mountains. It has built empires and changed the course of history. It is not luck, it is not talent, it is not money, it is not who you know or where you come from. It is the quiet decision that happens in a man's mind when he finally says, enough is enough. It is born when you stop blaming the world and start mastering yourself. Most people spend their lives chasing answers from the outside. They want the right coach, the right connection, the right moment. But millionaires, real millionaires, they begin from the inside out. They create a new belief, a belief so powerful that the world has no choice but to respond. They believe in themselves when no one else does. They act without proof. They walk without guarantees. They commit before there is any sign of reward. That is what separates the ones who make it from the ones who watch ordinary people stay ordinary. Not because they are weak, but because they never discover the power sitting inside them, that silent strength that keeps whispering, you are more than this. And here's the truth. If you do not master this power, you will live your whole life chasing things that never fill you. You will chase success like a shadow, and it will always slip through your fingers. But if you learn to control it, if you learn to trust it, you will become the kind of person who shapes the world. This is not about positive thinking. It is about inner command, about turning your mind into a weapon that works for you, not against you. From this point on, you are not the same person who started this video. Something has shifted, and now the question is, will you ignore it or will you rise? Why most people never tap into it. Most people go through their entire lives never even knowing this power exists. They live based on what they see, what they hear, what others tell them. They wake up, go to work, follow the schedule, pay the bills, and repeat. And somewhere, deep down, they know something is off. Something inside them keeps whispering that this can't be it. That life isn't meant to be a loop of survival. But do you know what most people do when they hear that voice? They ignore it. They distract themselves. They drown it out with noise. Social media, Netflix, gossip, excuses. They convince themselves that ordinary is all there is. That success is for someone else. That wealth is a matter of chance. That greatness is for people born lucky. What they don't understand is that power isn't loud. It doesn't force its way in. It waits. It waits for you to wake up. It waits for you to make a real decision. It waits for you to say, I've had enough of this average life. And the saddest part, most people die with that power still untouched, still buried, still silent. All that potential, all that energy, all that fire, wasted. Why? Because fear is easier than faith. Doubt is more comfortable than decision. It's easier to wait for a miracle than to become the miracle. It's easier to stay safe than to take control. But millionaires, real ones, the ones who built themselves from nothing, they did the opposite. They didn't wait to be chosen. They chose themselves. They didn't need approval. They didn't need applause. They needed one thing: belief in their own silent power. See, the world wants you to stay small. The system is designed to keep you doubting yourself, to keep you chasing validation, to make you think success is for the chosen few. But that is the lie that keeps people broke. That's the trap that keeps people average. And once you realize this once, you really see it, you can never unsee it. You start to feel different. You start to move differently. You begin to notice how most people around you are sleepwalking, and you start asking questions. Questions like, what if I actually do have the power to change everything? What if I've been waiting for permission that I never needed? What if today is the day I decide to tap into that silent power? Those questions can change your life, but only if you act on them. Because nothing changes until you decide to change it. And no one is coming to do it for you. The truth is this: you've been powerful all along. You've just been too distracted to notice. But now you do. Now you know. And now it's time to use it. Let's go deeper. The moment everything shifts, there comes a moment in every self-made millionaire's life that no one talks about. It's not the moment they cash their first big check. It's not the day they buy the car or the house. It's not even when the business starts working. That's the moment they snap. the moment they hit the edge of frustration, the moment when average becomes unbearable, when playing small becomes painful, when the excuses no longer make sense. It's the moment they say, "I'm done. I will never live like this again." That moment is when the silent power inside of them finally wakes up. Not with noise, not with applause, but with clarity, with certainty, with an inner fire that does not burn out. See, most people wait their whole life for the right opportunity. They think they need more money, more connections, a better background, the perfect timing. But those who rise don't wait for the right moment, they create it. They stop blaming, they stop hoping, they stop waiting, they get up, they move, they act, they decide that their life is theirs now. This shift doesn't come from the outside. It doesn't come from reading another book or watching another video. It comes from the inside, from a place most people never visit. A place filled with all the power you'll ever need. Because once you realize that you've had the power all along, the game changes. You stop thinking like a victim. You stop needing handouts. You stop making decisions based on fear. You start moving with purpose. You speak with conviction. You, too, work like your future depends on it, because it does. This is when people start noticing. They won't understand what happened. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you got lucky. They'll say you're acting different. And they're right. You did change. You changed your mindset. You changed your beliefs. You changed your direction. You stopped accepting crumbs. You stopped living for the weekend. You stopped being another face in the crowd, and you did it not because someone handed you a secret formula, but because you tapped into the one thing that separates winners from wishers, your silent power. Now, you're no longer asking for success. You're expecting it, you're attracting it. You're becoming the kind of person who commands it. And the best part, you haven't even scratched the surface yet. The shift has happened. The silent power is awake. Now it's time to direct it. Let's unlock the next level. Before we dive deeper, if this message is hitting something deep inside you, if you feel that fire beginning to stir, then this is your moment to act. Tap that subscribe button. Like this video if it speaks to your soul. Share it with someone who needs to hear it, and drop a comment below telling me what you're leaving behind and what you're ready to become. Your breakthrough might just be one decision away. Now let's go even deeper. Why most people will never discover it. Most people live their entire lives waiting. They wait for permission. They wait for the right time. They wait for someone to come along and push them. They keep waiting because they do not believe they already have the power inside them. They have been conditioned to think that only a few lucky ones are chosen to succeed. They have been taught to stay in line, to play it safe, and to never question what they are told. From childhood, they are trained to think in limits. They are told what to think, not how to think. They are warned about the risks, but never inspired by the possibilities. They are handed a path and told to follow it blindly. And that is exactly what they do. They never stop to question whether the path leads where they truly want to go. They never ask themselves what they really desire. They just keep moving forward with no direction of their own. They wake up every morning feeling like something is missing. They go to work with a heavy heart. They do what they are told. They come home tired and frustrated. They repeat this cycle for years. Deep down, they know they were meant for something more, but they do not know how to reach it. That feeling inside them gets quieter every time they ignore it, until one day they forget it was ever there. But here is the truth. That silent power never goes away. It only waits. It waits for the moment you are ready to listen. It waits for the moment you stop running from your own potential. It waits for the moment you decide you have had enough of being average. Most people will never discover this power because they are afraid of what it means. If they accept that they have the power to change their lives, then they must also accept that they are the reason they have not. That kind of truth is hard to face. It is easier to blame the world. It is easier to complain about circumstances. It is easier to pretend that success is something out of reach. But the moment you stop lying to yourself is the moment everything changes. When you admit that the only thing holding you back is you, then you begin to break free. You begin to tap into something that has always been there. A force that does not shout but whispers. A force that does not beg for attention but stands quietly with strength. This is the silent power that turns dreamers into doers. It is not loud. It is not flashy. It is not something you show off. It is something you feel in your bones. It is the voice that tells you to keep going when everyone else quits. It is the discipline that keeps you focused when distractions surround you. It is the belief that grows stronger every time you choose action over excuses. You will never find this power in the opinions of others. You will never find it in comfort. You will never find it while trying to fit in. You will only find it when you decide to rise. When you decide to stand up and take control of your life. When you look in the mirror and say, "I am done waiting," that is the moment it awakens, not with noise, but with certainty. If you are still here right now, then you are not like most people. You feel it. You know this message was meant for you. Now the question is, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to keep pretending you do not hear it? Are you ready to become who you were always meant to be? The moment you decide changes everything. There comes a moment in every person's life when they are faced with a choice. A quiet moment, a personal moment, a moment no one else sees or hears. It is not a grand event. It does not come with applause. It comes in silence, in stillness, in the space between thoughts and distractions. It comes when the world stops just long enough for you to hear your own voice. This moment does not ask you to be perfect. It does not demand that you have it all figured out. It simply asks you to decide, to choose a different path, to no longer run from the life you know is possible. That single decision changes everything. You do not need a detailed plan. You do not need to see the entire staircase. You just need to take the first step. And that first step is not physical, it is mental. It is emotional. It is the step you take when you say, I will no longer settle. I will no longer shrink to fit in. I will no longer live by the rules others made for me. That moment of decision is where the power begins. It is not the result that gives you strength. It is the decision to go after it. Once you decide nothing can stop you, the people who once doubted you will fade. The fear that used to control you will lose its grip. The distractions that kept you frozen will fall away, because your energy is now directed, focused, sharp, purposeful. This is where most people hesitate. They think they need motivation every day. They think they need the perfect timing. They wait until they feel ready, but readiness is a myth. The only thing you need is the decision. One single decision to stop being who you were and start becoming who you can be. Once you decide, you activate something deep inside. You awaken the part of you that does not care about opinions. The part of you that is done making excuses. The part of you that has been waiting to be unleashed. This power does not ask for permission. It does not seek validation. It moves. It acts. It builds. It creates momentum. And momentum changes lives. Momentum turns the impossible into the inevitable. Everything you want is on the other side of that decision. The lifestyle, the peace, the respect, the freedom. It does not belong to the talented. It does not belong to the lucky. It belongs to those who choose it. You are not stuck. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are simply one decision away. The past does not define you. The opinions of others do not define you. The failures you've experienced do not define you. Only your next decision does. And when that decision is backed by action, you become unstoppable. Not because you are special, but because you are committed. Not because you know everything, but because you are willing to learn. Not because it is easy, but because you refuse to quit. Your power begins the moment you say, I am ready. Not someday. Not later. Now. Right now. You were never ordinary. You just forgot how powerful you really are. Environment is either fuel or poison. Your surroundings are shaping you more than you realize. Every word you hear, every face you see, every room you walk into is either lifting you higher or pulling you under. It's not neutral. It's never neutral. Your environment is either feeding your ambition or feeding your excuses. Most people live in toxic spaces and don't even know it. They absorb the habits of the people around them. They mirror the energy of their circle. They inherit the mindset of those who've already given up. And then they wonder why their motivation disappears, why their dreams start to feel like burdens, why their energy is drained before the day even begins. If the people around you mock growth, you will shrink. If they fear success, you will begin to fear it too. If they laugh at discipline, you will start to think laziness is normal. That's the danger of staying where comfort reigns and effort is ridiculed. You become what surrounds you, but the power is still yours. You do not have to stay where you are. You can choose to step away from environments that poison your potential. You can choose to walk toward rooms that stretch you, conversations that challenge you, people who make you uncomfortable in the best way. When you enter an environment of hunger, you wake up. When you hear people talk about goals with fire in their eyes, your own fire returns. When you sit with those who refuse to settle, something inside you rises up and remembers who you are. Your standards rise just by being around people with higher ones. This isn't about arrogance. This isn't about leaving people behind. This is about survival. It's about taking your future seriously. You were not meant to blend in with mediocrity. You were meant to thrive in spaces of vision and drive. Sometimes, the most powerful change you can make is changing your scenery. Get around winners. Get around doers. Get around the ones who speak in goals, not gossip. The ones who wake up early because their dreams won't let them sleep. The ones who've been where you are and broke free. Even if you can't physically change your environment yet, you can start mentally. Change what you consume. Change what you listen to. Replace noise with clarity. Replace distraction with direction. Choose content that builds belief. Choose messages that push you forward. That's how you begin to create a mental environment that fuels your growth. You don't rise by accident. You rise by alignment. You rise by surrounding yourself with energy that matches your ambition. And if you can't find that energy, become it. Be the spark that changes the room. Be the light that exposes what's possible. Be the example others need to see. But your environment is shaping your future. Make sure it's building the one you actually want. Your words are commands to your mind. What you say about yourself when no one is listening becomes the script your life follows. Words aren't just sounds, they're signals to your brain. They tell your mind what's true. They set the ceiling or the sky. And if you're not careful, your own mouth will become your greatest enemy. Most people casually speak their limitations without realizing they're cementing them. They say things like I'm just not good with money, or I'll never be successful, or I'm too old, or it's too late. These may sound harmless, but your subconscious doesn't filter for humor or sarcasm. It listens. And it obeys. Every time you speak defeat, your mind goes to work, proving you right. But there's a shift that happens when you start to speak like the person you want to become. When you say, I am learning, I am improving, I am becoming unstoppable, your brain begins to search for evidence that matches that identity. It begins to notice opportunities you once ignored. It pushes you to take actions you used to avoid. And most importantly, it makes success feel possible instead of distant. You can't build a millionaire life with a poverty vocabulary. You can't live a powerful life with powerless words. If you want to change your world, you have to start by changing your language, not just when you're feeling good, especially when you're tired, frustrated, or lost. That's when your words matter the most. Affirm what you want, even when you can't see it yet. Speak your goals aloud every morning. Declare who you are becoming until your brain believes it. Say things like I am focused, I am disciplined, I attract opportunities, I act boldly, I create value, and I finish what I start. These aren't just phrases, they're programming, and the more you repeat them, the more real they become. Don't wait to feel confident before you speak confidently. That's backward. Speak confidence and the feeling will follow. You train your mind like you train your body. Repetition is everything. This is the silent power most people ignore. They want a better life, but they keep saying they're stuck. They want to be wealthy, but they keep repeating that money is hard to get. They want to be respected, but they joke about being lazy or lost. And they wonder why nothing changes. From this moment on, become intentional about every word you speak. Catch yourself when you say things that weaken you. Replace them with language that builds you. Create affirmations that align with your future, not your fears. Your words are not just descriptions. They are decisions, they are tools, they are weapons. Use them to build, not to destroy. The mind responds to commands. So give it commands that lead you toward greatness. Speak it until you believe it. Believe it until you live it. Live it until no one can deny it. Ordinary habits create extraordinary wealth. People often think there's some secret code to becoming rich, that there's a hidden formula only the elite know. But the truth is far more surprising. The difference between staying stuck and rising to millionaire status isn't some grand event. It's what you do when nobody's watching. It's the ordinary things you do consistently that produce extraordinary results. A wealthy mind is built one habit at a time. It doesn't start with owning luxury or taking giant leaps. It starts with how you treat your time. It starts with what you do after work. It starts with whether you scroll or study, whether you spend or invest, whether you complain or create. Most people underestimate how powerful small habits are. They tell themselves one wasted hour isn't a big deal. One lazy weekend doesn't matter. But millionaires know better. They know that your future is shaped by what you do daily, not occasionally. The power is in the routine. Waking up early before the world distracts you. Starting your day with intention, not reaction. Reading instead of scrolling. Reflecting instead of rushing. Learning instead of avoiding. These actions may look small, but over time, they compound. And that's where the magic happens. What feels insignificant now will eventually become the reason you win. The person who invests 30 minutes a day into growth becomes the person with a millionaire mind. The person who tracks their money, sets goals, and reviews progress becomes the one who controls their financial destiny. These aren't glamorous habits, but they are the foundation of wealth. The real secret is this. If you can master the boring, you can master your life. If you can stay consistent when it's not exciting, you'll go further than anyone chasing hype. Discipline in the dark builds rewards in the light. No one will clap for you when you choose to read instead of binge watch. No one will reward you for skipping instant gratification, but over time, you'll build something no one can ignore. Results. Stop searching for overnight success. Stop chasing shortcuts. Start building systems. Systems that remove emotion from your decisions. Systems that automate growth. Systems that keep you moving even on the hard days. Ask yourself this: what habits am I reinforcing daily? Are they creating wealth or killing it? Are they pushing me forward or holding me back? It doesn't matter how ordinary you feel today. It matters what you do with that feeling. Millionaires aren't born motivated. They're built through discipline. They show up. They do the work. They get uncomfortable. And they never stop refining the habits that brought them success. The power is already in your hands. It's not loud. It's not dramatic, but it's real. Start stacking those small wins. Wake up a little earlier. Invest a little smarter. Say no a little more often. Because those little things, when repeated relentlessly, become the big things. Ordinary habits, extraordinary wealth. That's the truth no one talks about. the unseen war between comfort and growth right now. There's a silent war happening inside you. A battle between who you are and who you could become. And most people lose that battle before they even realize it started. It's the war between comfort and growth, between safety and success, between what feels good today and what builds greatness tomorrow. Comfort will whisper to you. It will say you've done enough. It will say you deserve a break. It will say success is for other people and not for you. But growth doesn't whisper. Growth demands. Growth calls you out. It forces you to step into discomfort. It requires you to show up when it's hard, when you're tired, when there's no guarantee of success. If you keep choosing comfort, you keep choosing the same life, the same income, the same routine, the same frustration. But if you choose growth, everything changes. Not overnight, but inevitably. Because growth may be painful now, but it leads to a life far beyond what comfort could ever give you. Every successful person you admire made the decision to choose growth. They chose early mornings instead of sleeping in. They chose rejection over regret. They chose risk over routine. And most of all, they chose to believe in what they could become instead of settling for who they were. Comfort is seductive. It feels good. It feels safe. But it's a trap. It convinces you that avoiding pain is the same as finding peace. But that's a lie. True peace doesn't come from avoiding the fire. It comes from walking through it and knowing it didn't break you. Growth requires discipline. It requires honesty. You have to look in the mirror and admit where you're holding yourself back. You have to stop blaming the world. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop hoping someone will come save you. No one is coming. You're at dot, and that's the most empowering truth you'll ever accept. You are responsible for everything you become, no matter where you started, no matter what life threw at you. No matter who doubted you. The moment you stop seeking comfort and start demanding growth is the moment your real life begins. Ask yourself what you've been avoiding. What conversation scares you? What change you keep postponing? That's the direction you need to run toward. Because the life you want is hiding behind the growth you fear. You don't need to be the smartest. You don't need to be the fastest. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to stop living inside the walls that comfort built. Around you, break through them, push harder, go further, demand more. You'll never know how powerful you really are until you choose growth over comfort. Every single day, millionaires think long-term while the world chases instant. Look around and you'll see a world obsessed with instant results, instant fame, instant success, instant money. But if you study the people who actually make it to the top and stay there, you'll find a different mindset. Millionaires think in years, while most people think in moments. They are not looking for the fastest way. They are focused on the right way, the way that lasts. Success is not a sprint. It is a long game, a process, a system, a mindset. It is built one day at a time through choices most people ignore. Millionaires understand this, and they are willing to delay the reward. They are not afraid to be misunderstood or doubted. They know that patience with purpose creates power. You cannot build an empire with a microwave mentality. You cannot expect overnight transformation when your habits have been built over years. The silent power that makes ordinary people millionaires is their ability to stay locked in on the goal even when results are invisible, even when no one claps for them, even when the world tells them they are wasting their time. Most people quit before the breakthrough. They get discouraged when they don't see results right away. They give up because they think slow progress means no progress. But that is a lie. Every step forward counts. Every disciplined day matters. Every sacrifice builds the foundation of success you will stand on later. Millionaires don't look at what something costs today. They ask what it will be worth tomorrow. They don't chase distractions or waste time proving their success. They stay quiet, they stay focused, and they let their results speak louder than their words ever could. If you want to create lasting success, you have to shift how you see time. You have to stop measuring your life by what you get quickly and start measuring it by what you are building. Build your mind, build your habits, build your future. Most people want the lifestyle without the process, but the process is the price, and that price is paid with time, patience, effort, and discipline. Nothing less. Millionaires learn to fall in love with the process. They don't need constant excitement. They find power in repetition, in consistency. In mastery, you can have the same mindset. You can make the same choices, you can take the same steps. But only if you stop chasing quick results and start building something real. Every moment you choose long-term over instant is a moment you rise above the average and move one step closer to the life most people will never have. This is the secret. This is the edge. This is the silent power you must develop. The ability to think bigger, longer, and deeper than anyone around you. The strength to stay committed when the world settles for shortcuts. The truth is, success is not hard because of what it requires. It is hard because of what it asks you to give up. Distractions, comfort, approval, all things that feel good now but steal from your future. Choose long-term, choose growth, choose vision, and one day you'll look around and realize you've built a life most people only dream about. the world will try to silence. You stay committed anyway. The moment you decide to rise above your current level, the world will push back. Not because you are doing something wrong, but because you are breaking the rules that keep most people stuck. You are changing the story. You are refusing to play small. And that makes people uncomfortable. Ordinary people will call your ambition arrogant. They will call your discipline obsession. They will call your dreams unrealistic. But that is only because they gave up on their own. They are not really criticizing you. They are projecting their own limits onto your vision. If you let that noise get inside your head, you will shrink back into the life you are trying to escape. You will lower your standards to fit in. You will silence your potential just to avoid judgment. But that is the path to regret, not to greatness. Millionaire. Do not let outside voices decide their value. They don't need validation to stay committed. They don't ask for permission to grow. They understand that success is a lonely road at first. Not everyone will understand your hunger. Not everyone will support your effort, and that is perfectly fine. You are not building your future for applause. You are building it because you refuse to live in mediocrity. You refuse to settle for less than you are capable of. You refuse to end your life wondering what could have been if you had stayed committed just a little longer. The silent power that makes ordinary people millionaires is not loud. It does not argue. It does not complain. It does not explain itself to the masses. It just keeps moving. It keeps building. It keeps showing up day after day while everyone else is busy talking. You must build a wall between your mind and the noise of the world. You must guard your focus like it is your most valuable asset, because it is. Distraction is the enemy of greatness. Comparison is the killer of vision. You were not born to be average. You were born to lead your life, to create something rare, something powerful, something worth remembering. Do not let the world's doubts become your truth. The people who laugh today will one day ask you how you did it. The ones who ignored you will study your path. The ones who called you crazy will wish they had your courage. But you cannot wait for that moment to believe in yourself. You have to believe now. You have to believe when no one is clapping, when the results are small, when your steps feel slow. That is when it matters most. Keep your energy strong. Keep your mind sharp. Keep your vision clear. Keep showing up. Because success is not for the loud. It is for the committed. It is for those who can be told no 100 times and still choose to move forward. Stay committed, stay focused, and most of all, stay quiet. Let your actions speak. Let your discipline speak. Let your results become the voice that cannot be denied. This is how ordinary people become extraordinary, not by being louder than the world, but by being stronger than it. When you stop chasing comfort, you start creating wealth. The world has taught you to chase comfort, to look for the easy way, to avoid pain and stay safe. But nothing about comfort builds greatness. Comfort builds average. It builds stagnation. It builds a life that looks good on the outside but feels empty on the inside. If you want wealth, if you want freedom, if you want power, you must stop chasing comfort and start chasing challenge. Growth only lives in discomfort. Strength is only found in struggle, and every self-made millionaire understands this truth deep in their bones. The moment you begin to seek out discomfort, not avoid it, you flip the switch from survival to domination. You stop playing defense and start building a fence. You stop reacting and start creating. You stop existing and start becoming. This is not about working harder just for the sake of it. This is about becoming the kind of person who thrives in pressure, who welcomes resistance, who uses challenge as a sharpening stone, not a stopping point. You build real wealth, not when you make your first sale or hit your first goal. You build wealth the moment you become the person who refuses to break under pressure, who keeps going when the work is hard, who embraces the pain of growth because you understand what lies on the other side. Comfort will whisper to you that it is okay to take it easy. It will tell you that you have done enough, that you deserve to slow down. But wealth has no sympathy for excuses. It rewards those who keep moving, who keep improving, who keep demanding more from themselves when everyone else is satisfied. Silent power that builds millionaires is not a secret strategy. It is not a lucky break. It is the quiet decision made over and over again to do what is hard instead of what is easy. To get up early when you want to sleep in. To study when you want to scroll. To build when you want to escape. You do not become wealthy by avoiding discomfort. You become wealthy by mastering it, by looking it in the face and saying, I am not afraid of the pain because I know what I am becoming through it. Let others chase comfort. Let others run from the fire. You walk into it. You use it to forge your future. You use it to refine your mind. You use it to separate yourself from the average. Because on the other side of discomfort is transformation. On the other side is discipline. On the other side is mastery. And when you master yourself, no goal is beyond your reach. You are not here to live an easy life. You are here to become powerful. And power is born in the places most people avoid. Stop chasing comfort. Start creating wealth. Not just in your bank account, but in your mind, in your habits, in your belief. That is the path of every self-made millionaire. And it is waiting for you to begin. You have just been shown the truth that few ever see. The truth that the power to become a millionaire does not live in luck or in perfect timing. It lives in your thoughts. It lives in your habits. It lives in your persistence. It lives in your ability to control your mind and direct it to a definite purpose with unwavering intensity. You now understand that wealth is not something you pursue. It is something you attract by becoming the kind of person who deserves it. By transforming yourself into someone who thinks with clarity, acts with discipline, and refuses to quit, no matter how long the journey may take. The silent power that turns ordinary people into millionaires is not loud. It does not shout. It does not demand attention. It is quiet. It is invisible. But it is relentless. It is the daily choice to think for yourself, to believe when others doubt, to take action when others rest, to build your vision when no one else sees it. If you have truly listened to these words, if they have struck a chord within your spirit, then you know that your time has come. You were not created to remain average. You were not placed here to survive. You were meant to lead, to inspire, to rise. The only question left is this: will you now rise and claim what is already yours? Will you silence the noise around you and awaken the silent power within you? Will you finally decide to live not as a spectator but as the architect of your destiny? That decision is yours alone to make. But know this: every second you delay, you fall back into the crowd. Every second you wait, you give away your power. And every second you doubt, you strengthen the chains that keep you ordinary. Break free. Now the silent power within you is waiting to be unleashed, and once you do, there will be no limit to how high you can rise and how far you can go. You are one decision away from a new life. Make it now. Step into your greatness. Step into your wealth and never look back.